Hi, welcome to our Laser Lunch series. These are small bite-sized videos designed with you in mind. So the idea is that you are able to watch these videos and action the WAGs, the Wellness Action Guides, in the time that it takes you to have. So we all know we're all busy people, and it is to give as much information as possible in a really short space of time. So my name is Claire Elms and I'm from Inspire You Wellbeing, and we support individuals and teams with their performance and motivation and productivity. So this video is all about staff retention, and it's a massive topic at the moment, isn't it? Lots of companies we speak to are really struggling with staff retention. It's one of the biggest things we're seeing coming out of COVID. It is massive, isn't it? And I think when we think about the problems that we're seeing a lot of employees actually leaving their jobs. They've decided that they don't want to work anymore for whatever reason. And that can be lots of different things. When people have their staff exits, coming up more and more and more is that people are struggling with not feeling valued as part of the team, and that is one of the main things that we're seeing, that people feel valued or they don't have a sense of purpose. When people are feeling in that way, it's really difficult for them to remain in their job. They don't give 100%, they're not feeling like they want to work there. They might get more overwhelmed, they might get more snappy and irritable. So these might be things that you're starting to notice before you get to the point of like, right, that's it, I'm done. One of the things that we look at for kind of recognizing those symptoms is something called a flight risk. When we do staff wellbeing surveys, when we look at staff across the board, when you're doing your surveys, do you guys actually look at questions like, will you still be in your job in a year's time, kind of thing? It starts to give a bit of an indication as to whether or not they're looking at other things. So those are kind of things to start to look out for when you're doing those kind of assessments. It's really important to get a sense of that. There's loads of research that's come out since the Great Resignation. People are wondering why everybody is leaving in the way that they are. We know that a lot of people leave their jobs after maternity leave, after they've taken time away for a significant reason. And it's a similar thing, when we had COVID, we had lockdowns, people were either asked to remain at home, or they were put right in the front line and having to work in really complex situations. So when that happens, people go one of two ways, and it isn't a sustainable thing for a long period of time. So you start to notice these things after you've had a bit of time to kind of reflect on it. So that's why a lot of people towards the back end of 2020, 2021 and onwards have started just looking for other things and going, actually, this isn't, life's more important. They want more from an employer now, and that's really important to think about. Is that kind of, what can you offer somebody that joins your organisation? There are different solutions that we look at to support with, and I wanted to kind of run through a little bit of a kind of idea of it today. So one of them is about creating culture and of support in your teams and organisations. Obviously, everyone does that completely differently. One of my favourite tools to use for this process is something called DISC. And I don't know if any of you use it, some of you may do. There's Insights, which uses colours. There's Myers-Briggs, which uses something different as well. All of these sorts of tools are to look at people's behaviour traits. Quite often, when we're working in a company, we do the job that we've done because that's the job we've always done, the line of work we've always done. And when we start to align our job to our values, that's when we start to feel really passionate about it, when we start to really get involved in it. And what often happens is you'll have an analytical person in a creative role and a creative person in an analytical role. So the team feels a bit skewed. So by doing this kind of behaviour traits assessment, everybody does one, and then you end up with a screen where you can start to play around with it, and it's really quite clever, some of the things that it can do for you. So as a manager, it offers you a way of supporting different teams, and it helps you to look at where you can develop your strengths and where you can stretch as a manager to support else have a different style. As a colleague, it helps you to look at, say, I didn't get on with you for whatever reason, really start to unpick what that's about and look at where we're similar and where we're different. It then allows you, gives you some different tools of how to stretch into supporting those different needs to be similar and support the other person. So as a team, it helps the team to feel more cohesive. And as a manager, it helps you to work out how to support each person. And as an individual, it helps you yourself to really unpick those things. So yeah, I think the easiest thing to do is to show you something like that. So I've kind of brought myself onto Zoom so I could share my screen and show you a little bit about it. I'm not going to bore you with it because there is so much information around it. But what I wanted to do was really start to show you what you can do, and then it really helps you to focus. Bear with me. It doesn't want to show. This is, once you've completed an assessment on DISC, this is the screen that you get. So this is my screen, all about me. So I am an SI style. So when it comes up, it gives you different styles. We are a mixture of all four. So this is the quadrant. Most of these sort of things are in fours, aren't they? So this is the quadrant. So it shows you kind of all the different things. This is where I stretch in. So what it does is it means that people that are over here in the grey zone are people that I would find harder to connect with. So what it does do is it gives you different things that you can do to connect with those people and how you can structure it. So I'm just going to show you the Agile EQ as well. So it shows you your strengths, shows all the different things you're good at, and it shows you how you can make self-development moves into the right thing as well. It's being slow because of, I'm assuming it's not normally this. Where are we? It's just so here we go. So this, it's all based on emotional intelligence and emotional quota, and it talks about our strengths. It's something that obviously we really need to be aware of. So it's a fascinating tool, this one. And what else we can do? As a manager, I'll show you the manager's bit in a minute. Does it come out? It's not coming up. Okay, beyond your comfort zone. This is something I use a lot with individuals and teams when we're working in this way, because what it does is it shows you where you are on different mindsets, and then it looks at all the different tasks on how to do it. So it's like how you, I might need to work a little bit more on my composed mindset because I like just jumping in quite a bit. So these are different things that it can show you what to do. So it shows you the different things you can do and how you do it. And then what it does is it helps you track it. So it's a really good, when I work in this way, I can really start to work with people to actually understand their own behaviour styles and their own way of working. Once we understand ourselves, we can actually work really well in a team. And once a manager understands the different personalities and the different behaviour traits in the team, it's a massive, massive shift in terms of how the manager can support the team. So I want to show you, hopefully you get a bit of a sense. This is, I want to just do a really quick run through. So this is a really, really speedy run through, but what this does is it shows you as your style what you're like as a manager, the things that you like to do as a manager, and your different priorities. So it looks like, for me, I value collaboration. That's what I'm all about. So I love helping people to do things. So these are the different parts of it, and it really does, like, it tells you what drains you, so what makes you feel tired and me saying no is up there, definitely. I do struggle to say no. And dealing with angry and argumentative people, I don't like conflict. So those are things for me that comes up, and I know that about myself, and that's fine. But for some people, these sections can be really, really insightful. They can really demonstrate things that maybe they didn't know about themselves, things that they know that they need to work on, but it actually shows you how to work on these things, which is really good. And it shows you how to become a better manager, which is you know, really, really important. I think when sharing that now. When we work in a team, you know, I think the 96% of people have said that their manager directly impacts their well-being and how productive they are at work. That's a massive stat. And 42% of people have left work in the last couple of years because of their manager. So if we can get managers supported and we can get teams working and supported effectively, you'll find that people won't want to leave. People won't want to leave if the team is thriving. So, you know, that's one of the main things that we look at in terms of supporting people with their solutions. The other thing we do is a lot around listening to staff. So we are in the process of developing a staff wellbeing survey, which is really exciting. It's not just a bog standard survey. It's a survey for all things to do with wellbeing and workplace culture. It's an amalgamation of about 10 different assessments. So it looks at flight risk, it looks at how valued and supported they feel at work, how somebody feels in regards to their own mental health, screens for things like sleep issues, depression, anxiety, as well as like a general lifestyle assessment. So it's a really, really full assessment. What it gives a company is a back-end oversight, so you can have a look and see, you know, the biggest drivers for your teams. So you can see actually, you know, 80% of people are struggling with stress, or 60% of people are struggling with sleep. And then we can target the specific support. So we can start to look at things in that way. For an individual, it will give you an overall wellbeing score. So the wellbeing score will define kind of lots of different things, but it will give you some different tips on how to manage yourself. And what we know, you know, we've all heard the phrases, haven't we, of put your oxygen mask on before supporting other people, filling your cup before you look at other people, filling up other people. The more you can do and be prepared in yourself, whether that is as a manager, as an owner, as a team player, as an employee, whatever that looks like for you. Once you've supported yourself, you can then look at how you are within that culture and in that team, and really support those changes. So we do things like the assessment. We also support teams and companies to have staff support groups where they just listen to staff about different things. So they have wellbeing groups. There's obviously lots of larger companies do this anyway. They have women's groups, men's groups, etc. Women's mental health and men's mental health are massive things at the moment. You know, it's all about menopause and perimenopause in women, and it's all about raising awareness for men's mental health. You know, suicide risk is really high in men 25 to 45. So if we can start to raise awareness and remove some of the stigma of you know, seeking support, I think that's the key things really in terms of supporting staff to make things work better. If there is a troublesome person in the team, we also look at like how to manage the conflict management within the team, build the resilience of people. So there's lots and lots of different things that you can do to support your staff and to support staff and prevent them from leaving. I think when a lot of companies and individuals, managers and stuff think about this stuff, they think about, oh, they need like a bonus, or they need, you know, pay rises, or they need like benefits and stuff. And all of those things are really good. You know, those things are the things that stand you apart from other companies. But, you know, it is about the personal touch, the attention to detail. You know, and I think a lot of that we've lost with hybrid working, haven't we? You know, you don't necessarily, things become quite task focused, and you don't necessarily, you know, get those conversations of like, how was your weekend, or what did you get up to, or what are you doing tonight? You know, those conversations need to find a way of still happening, and then we can support each other understand each other when people are struggling. Quite often, if it's hybrid working and people are working from home, it's quite easy for them to hide. And if they're hiding, they're maybe not being able to get either. So, I just wanted to give you a few little things of things that you can do to support staff retention. And the final kind of action is to make this a focus. This is a priority. This isn't something, a nicety. This isn't something to do down the line when you're in a bit better position. This is something that you focus on now. The cost it takes to have staff sickness, the cost it takes to train up new staff and recruit new staff. Let's focus on our best asset. Let's focus on the team. Let's focus on supporting those people to feel valued, have a purpose, have connection, and really, really embed that within the work culture. So the final thing to say really is to go and do. So I want you guys to choose one thing, just one thing that you're going to focus on over the next couple of months to support your staff retention. So that could be that you set up with the staff, it could be that you're contacting us and seeing if there's some support, or another professional obviously, to see if there's some sort of support that you can put in place to support the team. Whatever it is, just choose one thing to focus on and just try and implement that one thing. So thanks for listening. My name is Claire Elms and I'm from Inspire You. We offer a lot of these short videos, so do get in touch and sign up to our Laser Lunch series. They are free. We have sleep, imposter syndrome, stress, workplace relationships, self-care. There's quite a few building up now in our membership platform. They're all free at the moment, so do get involved. And yeah, I'd love to speak to you. I do offer a free strategy conversation as well. So if you're wanting to talk about your wellbeing strategy or how you can support your staff, do get in touch. Take care then. Thanks. Bye.